so much intimate knowledge of you that he knows what you need better than you do. And he says right here, your Father knows that you need it. He knows you need to eat. Is he not going to feed you? We're not going to read it here today, but in in chapter 7, he says, who of you, if your son asks you for a fish, will give him a snake? Or for bread, will give him a stone? If you, who are just a person, just a man, who's a sinful man, will give my son, the food that he needs when he's hungry, why don't you think God, who's perfect and holy, without sin, and knows exactly what you need, won't give you a good gift as well? It reminds me a little bit, one time, a story, or a thing that happened one day with my son, Will. He's 5 years old. I think it's probably about a year ago. But he gets up in the morning early. Too early. And he's hungry. Okay? Actually, they're all up, but he's often very vocal about it. He's hungry. Okay? So I get up a little bit later, and I get near the kitchen, and he's all over me like, what's for breakfast? What's for breakfast? So, I'm starting to make the food, and I can't remember what I was making, but it was something that took a little bit longer than just cereal in a bowl, making pancakes or something. And so it was taking longer than he wanted. So he started to whine and cry and say, is the food ready? I'm hungry. I'm starving. And, I just kept working, just not bothering with that, and just kept doing what he was saying. And then he gets to the point where he's starting to get on my nerves. And he keeps saying he's hungry. And I blurted out to him, I said, listen, haven't I fed you every day? Has there ever been a day that I let you starve? Has there ever been a time that I didn't feed you? Has there ever, why do you think that I'm not going to feed you today? Isn't that ridiculous? And then, hey, wait a minute. It's just like, God has never let me starve, obviously. God has never left, he knows exactly what I need. He would never let me starve and let me go without. He knows what I need, and he provides it every day. And he's been faithful for 32 years to do that. And yet every day I forget, and I don't think that he's going to provide. And I think that there's something that I need to do. That I need to do whatever, cry out and say different things when he's already promised to provide these things. And it was cool that the Lord spoke to me through my own voice, to my son, but just reminded me who he is. If I, a sinful man, can make sure my son gets food every morning, how much more so can God take care of me, provide for everything that I need? My son doesn't have to worry if he's going to get food this morning. He's going to have it. I don't have to worry either. So let's move on. Now this, right here, verse 33, sums it up. This is my favorite verse in the Bible. Matthew 6 is pretty much my favorite chapter in the Bible. Verse 33 is my favorite verse, okay? Because it really gets down to the heart of this thing. The heart of the matter, the heart of the issue. It really calls you on the carpet, really, on this. So let's read that together. Can we read it simultaneously together? All right, I'll start it. But seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. Now it's a short statement, it's a short sentence. But let's look at it. Seek first his kingdom. Okay? Seek first his kingdom. And all these things will be added to you. I don't skip the part there, but all these things. What is he talking about, all these things? He's talking about what he's just been talking about this whole time. Food, drink, shelter, clothing, all the worries that the pagans are chasing after. I'll give you all of them. That's what he's saying. I'll give you everything that you need. All these things that you need to exist in this world. I know you need them. I'll give them to you. But I'll give them to you if you seek me first. What does it mean to seek first his kingdom? What does that mean? Well, what's his kingdom? If you're going to seek first his kingdom, you need to be about your Father's business. That is what his kingdom is about. His kingdom is building his kingdom. Building his kingdom. Doing his work that he's provided for you, whatever your gift is that he's provided for you. doing what he has called you to do to further his kingdom. If you're doing that first in your life, if that's your first and primary concern in your life, he says, I'm going to give you everything that you need to accomplish that. I don't remember where else it's found, but I'm thinking right now, I think when Paul says, a soldier doesn't go to battle on his own expense. The government pays for his expenses. They give him the body armor most of the time, I guess. The guns that they need. Everything. They don't have to buy their own weapons to go to battle. They don't have to buy their own food. They go to the mess hall or the chow hall, whatever it's called, and they get the food. If you're about your Father's business, if you're seeking first the advancement of his kingdom and his will and his kingdom being done on earth as it is in heaven, if you're about that, and you're about making your life one of seeking his righteousness, so not only doing the things that he's called you to do, but also living the way that he's called you to live, all these things will be given to you. Now who's, again, and I told this to the youth several times, and Tito knows this answer pretty good. But who is Jesus? Who is the one speaking here? What's the word I always like to emphasize?
Creator.
He's your creator. Okay? He is the one that knows everything. He's the one that wrote the book that you're living in. And he knows everything. Okay? He also builds everything. He's in control of everything. He owns all the cattle on the 1,000 hills and the companies and the money and everything. Do you not think that for a minute, if you needed A, B, C, D, E, whatever, that he couldn't provide that? If he said, okay, this is your mission, and you're going to go out, and this is what you got to do, you got to accomplish that. Lord, I don't know how I'm going to get over there. I need a car. I got to get over there. Lord, can you provide me a ride? Don't you think that not only, he owns every car in the world, you're going to get a ride. He's going to provide it somehow. And if you didn't get a ride, it's because he wants you to do something else. He wants you to walk, and you're going to meet someone else that, I don't know. But we can't be focused on those things. Be about his business. Be about seeking his kingdom first, and he'll provide exactly what you need. He knows you need it. He already knows. If I can give good gifts, he can give them so much better. But he'll give you everything that you need as well. Okay? So seek first his kingdom and his righteousness. And that's what it's about. That's what he's talking about when he says to build your treasures in heaven. If you're about your life, like I was, and like I still probably am to a big extent, about waking up and furthering your kingdom, furthering your life, having your best life now on earth, as some say. If that's what your concern is how saying, hey, this is what, I got to make sure that, I'm happy, and I have all these things, and this is my first concern. Once I get these things together, then maybe I can go out and be about his business, about his kingdom. Let's say I'm going to work for X number of years, then I can retire, then everything will be set, then I'm going to do something. Then I'll be about his kingdom. Well, if you're not seeking first his kingdom, what does God say? What does Jesus say here? He says, you're really saying that you hate my kingdom. You're really saying that you are not serving me. You're serving money. Whether you believe that or not. I do. But seek first my kingdom and my righteousness. I'll give you everything that you need. There's nothing else there's nothing that won't be able to be provided to you. Anything that you're asking me in my name, he says, I'll give to you. Oh, you little faith, why don't you just, believe that I can do these things? You can, and there would be nothing outside of what you can do when you trust in me. So let's finish here and read the last verse, and then